Welcome, everybody. Brother Goodwin here, crossing the spotlight, and sitting with me again this week is Dr. William P. Grady and his book that we've been discussing, Perilous Times, Deep Truths for Shallow Waters. And I realize some of you via the radio, you cannot see the book, but many folks are watching via YouTube. And I would encourage my radio listeners to get online if you can and find Crossing the Spotlight. The YouTube channel is right there on the website. Or just go straight to YouTube and find it, Crossing the Spotlight. It's there. Brother Grady, we've talked about a lot of different things from your book. Some things not in the book, I suppose, but end time things. So I thought in this little clip for the radio and for YouTube, I'd just leave it up to you. What would you like to share from the book in this segment?
Well, the final third, deals with spiritual principles about how to get through what's coming. Rahab the harlot was in trouble.
Yeah.
Her city was accursed. We're in trouble.
Boy, what a great illustration. You got my wheels turning already. That's an end time event in her mind, in her life.
Certainly.
Armageddon's coming.
AI is right around the corner.
How do I survive this?
Did you catch that?
AI is right around the corner. Yeah.
Right after Joshua.
So,
and as a matter of fact, this is prophecy. I need to share this. This was, oh, my soul. I just thought of this. If you'll see, I got goosebumps running up both legs here because I just now thought about it because you'll love this.
Well, you don't have any shoes on.
Don't tell them everything here. If you go to Joshua is the 6th book of the Bible. You go to the 6th chapter, right? That's
when he's going to go down to the valley there.
So what verse do you think we should look at? We're in 6:6.
6, the 6th verse.
No, we're going to go to the 5th verse.
Okay.
For a reason. Okay, are you pre-trib?
Oh, yeah.
So am I. You want to see that and sitting here at a nugget in Joshua?
Yeah.
This will be a blessing for this segment. If you go to 6 verse 5, not 6, 6, 6, 5. Here's 4 types of the rapture right here in this verse. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn and you hear the sound of the trumpet. Anybody waiting for a trumpet?
Yeah, there's the rapture.
All the people shall
shout.
Anybody waiting for a shout and a trumpet? With a great shout, so you don't miss it. And the wall of the city shall fall down. That's our bodies. If this earthly house be dissolved, this is what's keeping us contained, this flesh, right? The walls come down flat, and the people shall ascend up. There's your rapture right there. And every man straight before him. Now here's the nugget. There's 4 beautiful pictures of the rapture right in that verse. And look at where it is. It's Joshua.
6 books.
6.
6
verse 5.
Verse 5.
We go up before 666.
Yeah.
Right before verse 6. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
But as far as something to share, because we're so close to the end, the Christians are rattled because of the developments that continue to crop up. There's new stuff every minute. When I was born, the day I was born, Harry Truman was having Thanksgiving dinner in the White House. I was born on Thanksgiving, 1952. I guess I've seen, 17 presidents and 1 resident, or whatever the number is. And we've never seen the chaos that's going on, anybody my age. So the problem is, I have a chapter in the new book. Well, I have 2 chapters. One is Rahab the harlot. We started talking about that. A perfect picture of what we're dealing with tonight. Rahab was right with God, we're right with God. But we're both trapped in a terrified city. That's the title. Chapter 6, Joshua 6:1, the people were shut up in the city. None went in or out. There was your COVID restrictions. Everybody's locked up. So we're cursed. America's in a cursed city now like Jericho was. So this thing is going down. But God preserved Rahab. He can preserve us one way or the other. We don't have to die under the rubble. You can't find Rahab's sisters mentioned in chapter 6. Chapter 2, she makes a deal for herself, for mom, dad, brothers, sisters, nephews, and nieces. In chapter 6, everybody's brought out by name, but the sisters are not mentioned. They're down at the mall buying shoes. They didn't take her serious, and they died under the rubble. So God can preserve us. He can get us out. But that's one chapter that I deal with. Like I mentioned in another program, a black preacher friend of mine had a sermon called, "You may be saved down here, but you ain't necessarily safe down here." So perilous times means
Coming from a preacher in Chicago, obviously.
Yeah, with the gunshots going off every night. Perilous times means perilous.
Yeah.
So that's one chapter in the final third that deals with a practical application. But another chapter that is really good, in my opinion, is called Fear Not, Little Flock. God hath not given us the spirit of fear, right? Mm-hmm. So bottom line is, normal saved people in all these churches, you know, and these Christians are subject to the same temptation to fear. They're seeing one nutty development after another. Is my president going to be in jail? Is Trump going to jail? What's Biden going to do next? The idea is the devil gets them so rattled in their thinking because things are so unsettling. It's, oh my God. They're not saying that, but in their mind they are. What's happening next? What are the progressives going to do? What's Biden going to... They're all panicked. We're not even talking about preppers and bomb shelter Christians. I mean, they're all messed up. And so in that chapter, Fear Not, Little Flock, because God doesn't want us to fear, I put the simplest little formula in there, just a one-sentence formula. I said, if you'll do this, it'll help you. I go to North Carolina to preach. They say, Brother Grady's here to help us. And when I leave, they say, he really hoped us. This will help you if you'll do it. Every time you see something new, you know, litter boxes in the bathrooms for kids who think they're cats. Now kids are identifying as seasons, it said. Bare-knuckle women boxing in Britain. There's something sick every week, right? Yeah. The formula is this. All you have to do to get peace of mind is to repeat one mantra, one little statement in some form, right? In the book, I put it this way. Oh my goodness, or something to that effect. My soul, ready? Here it is. God must really be mad at this country. In other words, to be allowing this new development. Mm-hmm. And once you say that to yourself, it's like, I believe in creation again. I don't believe in evolution. Things are just out of control. God's involved. He's the one allowing all this judgment to hit our country. There was an old quote that said, every nation eventually gets the government that it deserves. Mm. And we are seeing that now. And when you say, my soul, God must really be mad, you're reminding yourself that it's not out of control. The analogy is in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, in verse 18, in everything give thanks. If you say, thank you, Lord, for Biden being here, thank you for the collapse of the country, you're telling yourself that he's involved with it because you're thanking him for it. In everything, give thanks. You got a flat tire, your wife bounces a check, don't freak out. Say, Lord, thank you for the bounce check. When you say that, and your spirit hears you saying it, didn't say in everything be thankful, it said in everything give thanks. When you thank the Lord for that blown tire or that speeding ticket, a peace will come over you because you'll realize God permitted that. Like the old illustration of a circle with a dot in the middle of the circle and an arrow coming into the circle touching the dot. The circle is God. The dot is you if you're saved, in Christ, hidden God. And that arrow is the negative stuff that we think is freaking us out. But the arrow, the negative Satan stuff, can't touch the dot. Yeah. Without entering and going through the circle. Job 1. Have you considered my servant Job? Nobody like him. Oh yeah? You got a hedge around him. I can't touch him. Take the hedge down, let me in. He'll cuss you out. No, he won't. Yes, he will. Okay, let's see what happens. And so, you know, they call that the hedge principle in theology. When God's got a hedge up around you, there's nothing Satan can do to touch you. But when God says it's time to try my child and lets the hedge down, there's nothing you can do to keep the devil out. You've got to trust God. I
kind of have always hoped that there's never a conversation about me in heaven with Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a black preacher friend of mine preach a sermon called Job, the man that was picked out to be picked on. And I used to have a 2-point sermon. Job's dead, point 1. Point 2, God never changes. He's always looking for somebody.
Yeah, so your wife should have had a point 3 for that, right?
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So,
which, by the way, preacher, if I can say one thing, the new book. Can you show me that new book?
This one here?
Yes, the newest book. Just one thing. I don't say this a lot because it looks like you're milking an emotional issue or disaster in your life. We all suffer tragedies on paper. Our son passed away, as you know, 3 days after Christmas, the year before last. And right after he died, he had a heart attack behind the wheel of a car in Arkansas, left a widow and 5 children. Now, of course, that devastated anybody, but we all, the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. We all go through these things sooner or later. But after that happened, the Lord impressed me to write this book and to dedicate it to our son, which is what we did. We have his picture there, and we have a little QR code where he's singing a song that he wrote, you know, in his own home church about seeing the face of God. And I was at his grave less than a week ago over in Arkansas. And I don't tell that to a lot of people other than to give this book to the people that you want to get it to. Where Americans are proud. They won't take a gospel tract. You know how that is. And here you're going to give them something, what must I do to be saved? And they're going to say, what do you think, I'm a heathen or something? But the, you know, the Jewish expression, a shtick. What's your angle? What's your shtick? I've told pastors all the time, give this book to somebody and say, or church people, I have a preacher friend whose son died at 46 years of age. He wrote a book to honor his son's memory, and he circulates them all over the country. And I got a bunch to get them out. I thought maybe you'd like one. See the motive?
Yeah.
And now you're giving him an excuse to take it. Oh, okay, I'll take it for that reason. Then he gets home, puts it under the blanket with a flashlight, and he doesn't have to, you know, it's an angle to get the book into the hands of people.
Yeah. All righty. Well, the TV show coming up this week would be on YouTube. It'd be 212 or something. And I may have these numbers wrong, but what do you think? What are we going to hit on? What do you want to do in the show coming up?
Well, I think the wars and rumors of wars prophecy is pretty much on the agenda now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to. I want to talk to you about Ukraine a little bit.
Sure.
I also want to discuss Israel and especially get your take on the October 7th. October 7th is huge.
Sure it is.
It's changed the world.
Sure it has.
Sure you know, Israel's doesn't have a friend in the world right now, including us.
Yeah.
And I think we're headed to something. We're going to talk about Ezekiel 38 a little bit in the show coming up. So,
you know, I was in Jerusalem a couple of years ago, and I had a lady guide taking me through David's Tower there in Jerusalem. And I asked her about Ezekiel 38. You know what she said, without even blinking? Oh, I think he was on drugs when he wrote that. Mr. Grady, did you see this painting over here? Never even flinched.
Wow.
I think that was a Jewish woman guide. I think he was on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, 80% of the Jews are atheists, secular Jews.
Oh, one of the biggest sodomite parades and stuff happens.
I got a picture. I got 20
Tel Aviv.
Photograph of 20 in the Holy Ground Israel book. I got a picture of 25,000 sodomites marching through.
But
Jerusalem.
their day is coming, and the
Sodom, Jerusalem, which is spiritually Sodom.
Yeah.
Revelation 11. You know
it's
that,
really represented as a terrible place.
Yeah.
Where also our Lord was crucified. That's how you know what he's talking about.
Sure.
He's talking about Jerusalem.
I have a pastor friend of mine in Canada who was born in Lebanon. He knows the Middle East like the back of his hand. He says there's so many sodomites in the Israeli Defense Forces, it's not even funny. And he's for Israel. Yeah. But there's a lot of that wickedness now.
All right, folks, we're out of time. I want to thank Brother Grady for giving us his time again. We're working him over here. And I think we got another week. We're going to do another show with him. And so thanks to him for coming. I hope you know Jesus as your Savior, because time is running out. And I hope you, if you got any questions about that, contact us. Until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.